Thank you for joining us. My name is John Knight. I'm the president of FFL Knights, and we have a special guest tonight. This is Michael Pfeil from FFL Allegiance. How you doing, Michael?
I'm doing fantastic, man.
Good, man. Thank you for coming on tonight. So, Michael, we'll go ahead and get started. So, what did you do before FFL?
You jump right into it, man.
Yeah,
Well, first
man.
of all, hey, man, it's a pleasure being on here. 8 o'clock on a Saturday night. There's nothing else that I would rather do than, kind of share what I've learned really in the last 2 years with Family First Life. So it's a pleasure being on here. I have probably an interesting story, a different story than what most people who came to the company. I came here back in 2015. And I left in 2018, right? This amazing company I left was promised the world from another IMO and things that never materialized. And at the end of the day, everything ended up being a lie. So I came back here in October of 2019. But prior to that, I was in the mortgage business, and my wife and I ran a mortgage company. We owned it for about 10 years.
Mhm.
So when things got really bad in 2008, 2009, 2010, I started looking for something different. I actually thought about getting a regular job again and kind of looking around and seeing what else was out there. And I decided I couldn't do it. So I found another insurance company where the comp wasn't anywhere close to what we make here at FFL. It was there at 55% and making 35% on final expense. Man, it was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, so I did that. I mean, I've been self-employed for working for myself since 02, in one capacity or another. But since 2015, it's been all Family First Life.
Wow, that's incredible. So there's been a lot of other companies out there. Why Family First? I know you answered a little bit of this, but why Family First? I mean, obviously there's a ton of companies out there that would want somebody like you with your qualifications and being an entrepreneur first.
I tell you what, you hear everything that we say that we have to offer. The compensation, the leads, the training, and there really is nothing else like this out there. And I can probably attest to that more than anyone else by the simple fact that I was here and left. Was promised the world from another by another company, and it just didn't exist. And I think what makes FFL so special is, yes, the comp is great, but I tell you what, you could be paid 200% compensation, but without the right culture, without the right leadership and the right people, you're not going to make any money. So what's so special about this company is it's a culmination of everything here that FFL has to offer. And that's why there is nothing else out there in this industry like Family First Life. It is truly, our training is top notch. There is nothing else out there like it. Our comp is phenomenal. We got the highest comp in the industry. But on top of all of that, it's the culture and the people and the leadership that make this company so amazing. So that you're not going to find anything else out there like Family First Life.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I love the culture because just like me and you, we had never really talked, till recently. And the beauty that everybody just has that way about them that they want to be able to help everybody. That's willing to work, obviously. And I just think that's awesome. And it's almost like when we talk to each other, it's like we've known each other for a long time.
It is.
And it's just like that with most people that you talk to in FFL, which is like, and I come from a company, my practice company was a $99 billion company in assets.
Wow.
And I just look at, and I used to sit in meetings and I always talk about this where I had people that I never even spoke to the whole time. And I'm sitting right in a conference room with them like 6 times a year,
Wow.
and then don't even have a conversation with them. And I probably have people that I'm closer to here that I haven't known less than, a year or 2 years, which is incredible.
And you'll find that anywhere in this company. You could walk up to any person and anyone and everyone is willing to lend information on exactly what they do and what they went through to get to the point that they are today. And that's what's so incredible.
Yes, definitely. So how many people do you have on your team now?
Right now, we just had our biggest month in March of this year,
Mm-hmm.
and we've contracted well over. I just looked real quick. We contracted well over 1,500 people in the
Wow.
last 24 months. But last month we had a total of 185 people put pen to paper. So that was
Wow.
our biggest month.
So how do you, and I'm going to jump around a little bit. How do
Sure.
you recruit at that type of level? Because that's incredible. 1,500 people in less than 2 years. And how would somebody like duplicate that? Because I feel like that's incredible. Are you using warm market, or or you were reaching out on LinkedIn? How are you doing that?
You look at that number and it almost seems like it seems like an overwhelming number, and you say, well, how am I able to do that? But really, at the end of the day, it's hiring the right people and having the right leaders that just simply are doing the same thing that you're doing, and wanting and having the same vision and goals that you have. And when you have, like, our group right now, I looked last week and we have about 9 leaders in this group that are actively growing and building the agency. So it's not all my efforts. I mean,
Mhm.
there's some amazing people in our group. You met Kali last week. Kali
Yes.
has, I don't know if you've ever talked to Andre Brooks,
No, not yet.
another leader in the group who's absolutely phenomenal. You probably met Ryan Urbanski,
Yes, I've met
maybe.
him. I've met him. Yep.
Ryan, Thaddeus, down in
Hmm.
North Carolina. We've got some amazing leaders, Richard, Will. When you have that many people in there in the group that are hiring and talking to people all the time, it's not just your effort. So kind of what I've learned over the last 2 years is you help people to get to that $150,000 level, get to 300,000. And after a while, the group just takes off by itself. We're at the point now where if I left here tonight and got hit by a bus, there is no stopping the growth of the agency.
Incredible.
So it's not how do you go out and hire 1,500 people. It's how you go out and find other people that kind of have the same vision that you have and want to build something as much as you do. And everyone, it's just a concerted effort between everyone in the group that's doing the same thing. But to answer your question more specifically, we do a lot of obviously warm market recruiting. I'm a big advocate of that. I mean, it's how you build this thing to begin with. It's how you build your foundation. But we run a lot of ads that are running on Facebook. We run a lot of Google advertising, and we have some other companies that are giving us licensed agent recruits that we talk to every day. But yeah, it's various different sources, and it's everyone doing the same thing. So when you got that many people that are putting that much money into recruiting efforts, hiring recruiters, and buying recruiting leads and so forth, it really begins to take a life of its own and just grows like wildfire. We go right now 10 levels deep in the group,
Oh,
and there's people that are hired that I'm sure don't even know who I am. I meet people all the time and they say I'm in your group. But it's to the point now where it's just growing by itself and it can't be stopped.
that's incredible, man. That's awesome. So how do you balance family, work, and then obviously, hopefully, you do some leisure?
I mean, that's a great question, and everyone always wants to get the answer to that question. And Sean told me this when I first met him. It's in the beginning. There absolutely is no balance. You're so out of balance. But if you're trying to build something big, here at FFL, we all have an opportunity to make partner with Integrity Marketing, and for you to have that type of opportunity available to you, and that kind of reward, that you're going to work very, very hard, and there's going to be absolutely no balance. So in order to be able to do that, I think a lot of people have that problem in the beginning. You have to talk to your family. I remember when I came here and I talked, and actually when I came back in October of 2019, talking to my wife, talking to my kids, and letting them know that I'm going to miss a lot of stuff. I'm going to work real hard. There was a 6-month stint, back then, where I worked every single day. I worked 7 days a week. I worked in a county that was an hour and a half, 2 hours away from me. So it was leaving on run days, 4 or 5 days a week, leaving at 6:30 in the morning, getting home at 10, 11 o'clock at night. But it's because I knew what was available. I knew that if we built something that having the chance to be able to partner with Integrity Marketing, I knew that something else was out there like that. So I had to work real hard. And the only way to be able to do that is, I don't think that I'm very good in this business. I definitely don't think that I'm special. But one thing that I know that I can control more than anything else is my work ethic. I know that if I work real hard, that the results will come. And I also know that when you're hiring or when you're recruiting and bringing people into your agency, if you set that example, then they'll follow that example. So, and I told you a story a little bit earlier about us being in the office at 7:30 a.m. on a Sunday, right? Doing something like that, people follow. They don't know any better. They just think that's normal. And if you talk to a lot of people that were in the group in the very, very beginning, they said they didn't know. They thought that was normal, going in the office at 7:30 a.m. on a Sunday. So yeah, there is no balance. And even now, it's constantly working, because I feel like the bigger that we get, the harder that I have to work, because I almost have an obligation to help all those people that helped us get this far. So I'm now obligated to help them. So there still isn't any slowing down. We continue to work. We continue to grow and set the example for all the new people that are coming aboard into the agency.
And that's a great point that you make, because I think that people aren't willing to give that sacrifice, because really it's a sacrifice for a short amount of time. I mean, think about my career previously. I mean, it was 10 years of working at least 5 to 6 days a week. But there was really no end game in sight, at least we have integrity here to be able to have something that we can work toward. And, but I think most people are not willing to put in the work, because like when you start talking about that, they're like 7 days a week, and it doesn't even matter what's at the end of it. I keep thinking about, like, when I was working, I was just working hard, but I didn't even really know I was working to be able to obviously take care of my family, but there was never really a goal at the end, like integrity,
Absolutely.
So we really are blessed there. And you think that's the reason why a lot of people fail, is because they don't have the work ethic, or they're not willing to put in the work?
I think it's more that than anything else. People quit on themselves way too soon. It's amazing. You'll have a job and you'll go to work every single day. And if your boss calls you and tells you need to work a double or do whatever, you'll do it. If they tell you need to come in on a weekend, you'll do it. People do it every single day. But then it seems like when you become an independent contractor, people become the bosses of themselves. They give up on themselves way too early, way too soon, and I think that has a lot to do with people failing more than anything else. I did a training the other day, and I was talking to some people, and I said, can you imagine how much experience, how quickly, or how much more time I was able to put in working 7 days a week? And there's some people that the experience that I got in 1 month, they would rather stretch it out over 8-9 months.
Yes.
They're not running that many appointments. So back then I would run 50 appointments in a week. And can you imagine someone who runs 10 appointments a week? I ran, I run 150, 200 appointments in a month, but they're running 40 a month. It takes a lot longer. You're not going to see everything as fast as I did. So I think when you work real hard and you don't stop, you're just condensing those time frames, and you're able to see every single possible scenario that's out there, and you're able to see it quicker. And after a while, things do get easier, but people, like you said, they're not willing to make that sacrifice. They're not willing to give up those times. I talk to people every day, and they'll say, well, I can't work. It's funny when they say it's my birthday. I'm like, you're 40 years old. Like,
I know.
You're not a child, right? Like, I tell you what, back in 2020, on my anniversary, I worked. We celebrated our anniversary on Friday night or Saturday night. If it was my kid's birthday during the week, we celebrated Friday night or Saturday. There were a lot of things that I was willing to give up. But what's funny is when you have that conversation with your family up front, that when you miss those things, then it's not that big of a deal, because everyone's on the same page. They understand what the goal is. They know where you're trying to go. And so, like, everyone is on the same page, but you have to have that conversation up front. So when you're missing those things, then people aren't upset. They understand.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I was younger, my daughter was younger, I worked a lot when we were building the mortgage company. And as much as I work, when you talk to both of my kids, all they remember is all the good times that they had. They remember going to Disney World. They remember them asking for certain things or certain vacations. They only remember all the good times. They don't ever sit back and remember dad was working, dad wasn't home. They remember all the good stuff. But I promise you, like, if things got bad and I didn't do the things that I had to do, and we were homeless for a certain period of time, they'd probably remember that, right?
Oh, absolutely.
But they don't remember me working real hard. They don't remember that stuff. They just remember all the stuff they were able to do. And now my daughter's 22 years old. She just graduated from college with her bachelor's degree. She's going to go to veterinary school, which that costs a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And the other day, someone asked her a question at work. She's like working at some animal emergency clinic or something. And they said, veterinary school is very, very expensive. And she goes, that's okay. My dad works hard. He'll take care of it. And that's what the impression that I want to give on my kids. I want them to realize and know that working hard allows you to achieve a goal, and it's not something that you should shy away from. And it's a shame that so many people get into this business and have an opportunity like we have, and they just allow it to slip away. And they don't allow it to slip away as a result of lack of skill.
Yes.
It's their lack of work, their lack of work ethic. And to have this type of opportunity and to lose it for no reason other than you just not wanting to work hard, I think is a shame.
It really is, because, and you've recruited over 1,500 people. So you've seen a lot of people that were sharp, that came in through the door, that you probably thought that would be really good, didn't make it. And that's probably the most frustrating thing when you're in this type of business, that you just learn that's just a part of it. And even going back to the old company that I was with, that, it just sometimes just happens that way, where people, you think they're sharp, you think they're be a hard worker, but then when it's actually time to get down to it,
we
not very much.
We see it every day, and it's sad when you see it, but a lot of times you find yourself, you want it more for them than they want it for themselves. And there's nothing you can do about it. I learned a while ago that we can't push people, we can't motivate people. The only thing we have the ability to do is to go out and inspire the people that work with us. And you do that by going out there and working every single day, getting no-showed, dialing the phone, having people say no. But that's the only thing that you can control is your work ethic. You can't make anyone do anything they don't want to do. Sometimes people wake up and they realize what they have and they will get to work, but you can't force anyone to do anything that they don't want to do. The only thing you can do is go out there, inspire, lead from the front. And those that truly want it, they'll follow you. And those that don't, they'll fall away. They'll do something else or go get a job. They'll quit. You can't let that get to you. I used to let that bother me so much. When people would fail, it would really bother me. But I learned over time that the people that fail, that it's you have no control over it. Just like when people come in here and they're successful, that wasn't because of you. They were a winner before they got here. They just got into the right environment and were allowed to flourish and allowed to take off. But it's nothing that you did. You just went out there and went out there and led from the front and worked and inspired them. But they were a winner before they got here. And the people that lose, they were quitters before they even got here. You can't control that.
I think that's the beauty of FFL, is that here you can't hide, because I've seen a lot of people hide in other companies. Like people could still have or look like they had success, but here, if you don't want to work, usually you'll be found out eventually. Usually it finds you out, which is good for the people that actually do work. So I remember seeing you speak at the 2021 convention. You were able to grow to board member in about 2 years' time. What do you think the keys were that caused you to hit that so fast? Because that's a great accomplishment.
I appreciate that. Again, it's in the beginning, working hard and just finding the right people. I was here, like I said, from 2015. So I was around people before that, but I don't think they were the right people. And again, if I would have quit and never come back, I would have never had the ability to find and work with some of the amazing people that I work with today. So again, imagine if I would have just quit and I would not have come back to FFL. The leadership and what makes up this group right now, I would have never found. So the people I'm around now are all just a result of me not quitting. And I think too that you kind of attract the people into your life of who you truly are. So before, when I was here, I had some leaders in our group, but I don't think they were the right people at that time. Because if you look now, what our group is made up of, none of those people that were here before are part of this group right now. So over time, you know, when I left and came back, it was a very humbling experience, and I changed as a person. And I think going through that change allowed me to attract the people that are part of this group today and who we are today. So to answer your question, I think it's working real hard, understanding and being able to explain the vision of what you're trying to get to. If you can explain that to the leadership that you have, it allows you to grow. But the only way to do that is to go out there and do it themselves. There's no way that you can sit home on a Saturday or a Sunday and tell people you should be out there working. This is what you should do. You should buy this many leads. You should work this many days a week. The only thing you can do is go out there and lead by example, and then those people will follow. So finding the right people and working real hard in the beginning is I think what allowed us to grow this fast. I feel truly blessed to work with the people that I work with, because you're going to have an opportunity. You said you're going to interview Kali next week.
Yes.
And I talked to you about Andre. If you went through and interviewed all the leaders in this group, you'll sit back and probably just say, man, Mike is lucky. And I am. But I think if I would not have prepared myself to kind of be in a position to allow those people to come into my life, it wouldn't have happened. So I don't remember what that saying is, right? If you work hard enough, like you'll get lucky or something like that, right?
Yeah. You work hard enough, you make your own luck.
Yeah, exactly. So doing that just allowed those people to come in, and it's why we are where we are today. So
that's incredible, man. So if somebody wants to work with you and your team, how do they get in touch with you?
They can reach out. Is that phone number? Does that scroll?
It's on your, it's yours.
I mean, that's right. It's right there. That's my my cell phone number. I would, they can reach out to me directly, and they can talk to my recruiting manager, and we can get them on board with us.
Okay, awesome. So, Mike, thank you so much for coming on today. We really picked up a lot.
I'll give you another piece of information. In the beginning, when I came here, you probably hire people all the time that say they don't have money, they've got children, they've got other family obligations, so they can't do the things that they need to do. When I started here back in October 2019, my mortgage at that point was 3 months behind. My cell phone bill was being turned off every other week. Bills, gas and electric bills, things weren't paid. But you know what? I believe so much in this company and believe so much in this opportunity. The first thing that I did was I went out and I got an office. So I paid for that office before I paid for my own mortgage, because I knew that that's what it would take to be able to grow an agency. I knew that if I had an office where people could come into, that I knew that it would allow this thing to take off. I also, right from the very beginning, I had an admin. Because I was running, I remember going out and writing like 16 applications in a weekend, but I was always told that if you don't have an admin, you are an admin. So I knew that my time was much more valuable than that. So to better answer the question that you asked me about what it would take to grow in the beginning, it's, first of all, if you truly believe in the company, and then if you truly believe in yourself, then you'll take that leap. You'll hire an admin. You will open an office, and you will, honestly, I'm the kind of person where if my back is against the wall, I'm going to fight my way out of it. So by taking on those extra responsibilities, taking on, when you have someone to pay, you're definitely going to go out there and work real hard, because you got to pay their paycheck. When you have rent that's due, you're going to do what you got to do to be able to pay that rent. So opening an office, hiring staff immediately, and working and doing everything that you have to do to be able to pay for all those obligations is one thing that I did to light a fire into myself to work every day. So not only did I have all those personal bills to pay for, I immediately incurred business expenses, but I knew that's what it would take to be able to grow. I needed an office for people to come to so we could all work together. I needed an admin to not only help me, but to help the new agents, because it was important for me to go out there and be able to run. And if I didn't have staff, if I didn't have an admin, all those responsibilities would fall back on me. So immediately I hired staff. Immediately I opened an office, and I did it with, and I don't recommend people doing that. I don't advocate getting bad credit, but it's what I had to do to be able to get myself out of the situation that I was in.
Yeah. And that takes some strength and a lot of faith, because I've been in those situations, and for you to be at your level right now, it's definitely inspiring, because a lot of times people, they see your level right now, you're at over $1 million a month, and they don't talk about, or they don't think about where you were, when you came back, and what you had to fight through to get here. Because I'm sure there was many days that you didn't know if this would if you would even be here, I'm saying, with all those obligations. Go ahead.
There were times in the beginning where every single day I'd go home and tell my wife, I don't think I can do this. But having someone in your corner that believes in you, as crazy as things are, you're not paying for things. And she says, I think you can definitely do it. Go back to work. You're not going to quit. At first it was like almost 3 or 4 times a week saying, I don't know if I can do this. Like I'm getting us further in debt and taking on additional responsibilities, but having someone that believes in you, you believe in yourself, but then having someone else to believes in you as well, that's what keeps you moving forward. I mean, and it wasn't that long ago. Like when I talk to new agents today and they tell me about their money, I just talked to an agent a couple hours ago, and I said it was 27, 28 months ago where I was in a lot of financial difficulty. And I said, the reason you're in this trouble that you're in right now is you're just not working hard enough. I don't see, like right now, I get it. It's your son's first day playing t-ball. Like I understand, but you also have bills to pay. You're out relaxing and watching him play t-ball, but you got $12 in your bank account. Like, I think that's horrible. Yes. What kind of example are you setting for your children when you got $12 in your bank account and you can't pay for things that need to be paid for? I don't think that's a good example to set. I don't think you should have been there today, but that's just me. That's what I would not do. Again, I don't advocate getting bad credit, not paying your bills. I don't advocate not spending time with your children. These are things that I had to do to get to kind of where I am today. I didn't want my wife to have to go out and get a job. I didn't want my daughter to not be able to go to college. These are all the decisions that I made. And one thing that I made a decision a long time ago is that my wife wasn't going to have to go back to work. My kids weren't going to go into debt paying for college. I was going to take on all these responsibilities. So I knew that in order to do that, I had to go out and work very, very hard to make these things happen. I tell people this all the time when they see where we are now. I go, it wasn't that long ago where I had to take my watches to the pawn shop to have money for gas, right? Wow. I had to pay for gas for the week to be able to make it. And that was only 28 months ago. But I'd pay for my office, I'd pay for my staff, and I'd buy leads before I took care of anything else. And again, that just takes you believing in yourself and understanding where you want to go and taking those type of risk. If you're able to risk everything right up front, why don't you just find out right away what you're made of and whether or not you can do this? If you take on an office, you got rent, you got staff to pay, why not just get it out of the way real fast? Like fail fast and say, all right, I can't do this. I'm not made for this, rather than trying to stretch it out over 9 months. It's like you're tearing a Band-Aid off real slow. Why not just rip it off fast?
I love it.
Let's go ahead and let's get these business expenses rolling. Let's buy leads that we can't afford. I found out real quick you can use PayPal and buy leads and the money not be in the bank account. I found all these things out real fast. You know what, Mike, I love you because do that. Let's get it out of the way.
Yeah, just what you're saying is you're giving everybody an opportunity to make it, because that's the issue that people they look at the obstacle instead of looking at the way, how can I do this? And you figured it out. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, yeah, I forgot what I was saying, but
yeah, you were talking about PayPal, where you could put your leads on PayPal.
Hey, why not, man?
I love it.
I knew what I had to do to be able to make it. So you make those decisions, and it's the only way that you hear about it all the time. But entrepreneurs do these things every day. They take these crazy risks, and at the end, the people that make it and don't quit, look where they are today. And you kind of have to take that mentality, give it everything that you got. We have the most amazing opportunity here. We have the ability to partner with integrity. You hear what this deal can mean to you and mean to your family. And like, why wouldn't you give it all that you got? There's no reason not to. So that's kind of the approach that I took for this whole thing. And I'm not going to slow down. I'll continue pushing harder, and we're going to do everything that we can to where everyone that helped our group get to where we are today, I'm going to be there for them, and I want to help them. Anyone who wants to be able to get a partnership with integrity, I'm going to help them do whatever I can to be able to help them partner. It's the way that we work every day.
Awesome. So I know you can't talk about the integrity and partnership, but maybe you can just tell. I know because Frank and Jamie just got it. I'm sure you're in the conversations now.
We're close, but not
close. Yeah. You're in the conversations now. How is that experience? Actually speaking to integrity, knowing that you're pretty close. How is that whole experience going?
I tell you what, you see everyone who's with integrity, and they have a different smile on their face, like all the risk is kind of, I mean, it's not completely off the table, but things change. They can't tell exactly what their deal is. Mm-hmm. But I've known Frank for a long time, and if it wasn't as lucrative as we all believe it to be, he wouldn't have done it. Yes. And to see kind of the things that he's been able to do for his family and some of the plans that he has, it's something that I want to be part of. So it's just incredible to his office is right in front of mine. So be able to sit here and be part of someone who's already done that and realize you have the ability to do the same. It's what pushes me, harder to work, pushes me to work harder every day. So
awesome, man. So we really appreciate you coming on and just sharing so much knowledge with us. I know it really helped me. I definitely connected even more with you today. Just knowing, because I did see your speech. I did hear your speech in 2021, but it's like, feel like I'm even more connected with you. So
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. So anything you need from me, just don't hesitate to ask. And I'm definitely going to be reaching out to you more. So
awesome, man. Anything you need, reach out anytime. I'm here to help.
All right. Take care. So guys, please reach out to Mike and FFL Allegiance, and he's a great guy to work with. And we just appreciate you guys watching, and we'll obviously talk to you soon.
Awesome, man. Have a great one.
Hey, you too, man.
All right. Take it easy. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.